Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you back to my channel, Tisha Chandre, with another episode of Makeup and Manna. First, let me put the disclaimer out that any music that you hear playing in the background, I do not own any of the rights to it. Secondly, if you've already subscribed to my channel, I would like to thank you so much for subscribing, for sharing, and for following and supporting me. Thirdly, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, ring the bell, leave comments, share, however you choose to do it. I'll appreciate it. So, how have you guys been doing? I know I have been MIA, I think for the last 2 weeks now. But I have really been busy with school and, just getting acclimated to teaching during this pandemic. It is really hectic. So guys, I ask that you just continue to keep all teachers lifted in this season as we try and teach through this pandemic. But yeah, it has had me hemmed up and just exhausted and pretty drained since we've started, because it just seems like it's never going to level out. Stuff is always changing constantly with school. But nevertheless, I'm coming to you guys this week, and we're just gonna kind of talk, and I'm just gonna kind of talk from a place of course, transparency and truth on my end. So be sure to leave me comments, ask questions, whatever you choose to do at the end of the video. And I'll be sure to check and respond back to you. I would like to thank my sister for subscribing. Thank you so much, Carol. She subscribed after watching the last video, so I really appreciate that. So yeah, I've just been... I don't know about you guys or if any of you have ever felt this way. But I know for me, because I'm such a planner and want to know the beginning, the middle, and the end, and all of the other small things in between of everything that I have going on, because I want to know that, it keeps me in a place of I'm always probably wondering and trying to map stuff out, even though I'm not even the one who created everything or who has control over what happens. I still find myself trying to control what happens. And that's something hard to try and relinquish and give over to God when you've been doing it for a long time. Nevertheless, I'm definitely trying to do what his word said, which is cast all of my cares on him. I'm definitely trying to do that. But recently I have also been asking myself, I ask myself the question, like, do I really love God? Like, do I honestly, like, love him unconditionally? And I had to really just think on that thing. And it was just, I was like, I came to the conclusion, like, Lord, I don't think I love you for real. Like, I just had to be honest with myself, and it hurt my feelings, but I had to think of a lot of, I had to kind of look back over the years and over the weeks and months and days, and just really ponder on some things like, okay, am I going to prayer, or am I praying just to get something from him, or am I praying to honestly seek him for who he is and not for what he can do for me? Am I just praying out of ritual or out of tradition, or am I just, what am I really doing it for? And I know we're supposed to go to God for all things, for direction, for, Claire said, pray about everything, pray without ceasing about everything. But honestly, just praying to spend time with God. Here recently, I've noticed that I haven't done that just to sup with him. I've prayed because something was going on, or something I needed clarity, or I needed direction on something, or something like that was the reason for me praying. And I'm like, so I haven't just prayed just to say hey, just to commune with him, just to find out something new about him, just to find out a new characteristic about him, just to spend time with him, just to be spending time with him. And I was recently told that we need to get in that place where we just spend time with God just to spend time with God, and not to get something from him, and not to, want anything, but just to be with him. And so I was looking at, different things in the Bible, like how can I figure out, well, how can I actually fall deeper in love with him? How can I learn to love him? Which I know is really just a question. Ask him, and he'll do that for you. So I was looking at different scriptures in the Bible that tells us, of course, like in Luke 10, it says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind. And I was like, all of those things have to be, you have to want all of those, like your mind, your strength, your soul. You want all of that to love God for who he is. And not just, you're loving him for something he can do. And granted, he gives us blessings. That's something that he said that he would do. He promised to bless us. But he also wants a relationship with you where you just come to him, not just because he gives you blessings, not because he does things for us. So I read something that said that we have to get to a place where we desperately want to move from head knowledge of God to heart knowledge. Head knowledge of God is, yeah, I know this about, I know he's a keeper, I know he's a deliverer, I know he's a provider, I know he's this, I know he's that. You know this in your mind, and it could be from, from you reading, or from you hearing it in church, or from you hearing it, wherever. But we have to get out of that head knowledge of God and actually heart knowledge of God, meaning that we know him, yes, because he's probably done it in our life. He's been a provider, he's been a healer in our life. But also to know him with our heart is that to have a heart for him and have a heart like him, we have to spend time with him to get to know him, to know his heart, to know his ways. And then when we know him with our heart, that helps us in turn to react the way he would react to certain situations, to walk more like him, to talk more like him when we know him deep in our heart. Because it's just like when we fall in love, or feel we fall in love with somebody, and we love them with all of our heart, like we'll do anything for them. Like literally, we've been in situations where we think we're in love, or say we're in love, and we would do anything for that person. What's that song about Monica? I'll cross the ocean for you. I will go and bring you the moon. Like, you'll do anything for somebody that you love. So we have to get in that place with God that we would do anything for him. Whether he say jump, move, run, stay still, be quiet. We have to get in a place where we would do anything for God, because the truth of the matter is he'll do anything for us. That's how much he loves us, that he would do anything for us. So we have to get in a place where we would do anything for him. We would do anything for him. Come to that place where we're just desperate for the time for him, desperate for his presence, and we would do anything to stay in that place, and to get in that place, and to dwell in that place. Something that, when I was reading about this, it said we have to get rid of misplaced affections and idols. Sometimes, unknowingly and knowingly, things can become idols. whether it be a job, a spouse, friend, um, anything that we got going on in our life. Our children can become idols. All of that, like we can unknowingly and knowingly place things as idols, and we would do that before we do or spend time with God. So that's something that we have to do to fall deeper in love with him and to get to know him better and to spend that time. And we definitely have to get rid of misplaced affections and idols. In Psalms 139, it says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me, know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." I've learned that when you ask God to do something, you better be ready for it. When you ask him to do something, you might want to be ready for it. So you ask him to search your heart and test you, guess what? He's going to do just that. He's going to search your heart. And you said, show you any offensive way in you. He's going to show you, which is, I've said this before, when he had me looking in the mirror and showing me, like when you ask him to show him what's in your heart that you need to deal with, you got to be ready to see that. You got to be ready to deal with that. You got to be ready to do whatever he tells you to do with the offenses that he shows you, whether it's you need to go and make it right with somebody, or you need to, not do something anymore, or you need to delete this person, delete that person, or you need to take a season where it's just you. You need to be ready to deal with whatever you ask him to show you. And he'll definitely lead you. He'll definitely show you those things. He'll definitely lead you in the direction that you need to go. If you ask. If you ask. If you ask. Thinking about him and talking about him is not the same as praying to him. So thinking about God and talking about him is not the same thing as praying to him. And that kind of got me, because I was like, well, I think about him all the time, and I talk about him, to different people, or I'm always, thinking and talking about him. I'm like, so that's kind of like a form of prayer. Clearly not. Clearly it's not, because think about him and talking about him is different from actually sitting down and talking to him, sitting down and praying with him, getting in a quiet place and praying to him. They're not the same thing. It's okay to talk about him. It's okay to be about him. It's okay to think about him. But you also have to pray to him. You also have to have a conversation with him. And that's what he longs for. You to have a conversation with him. You to talk to him. That's what he longs for. And y'all, I have to be honest. I've just been in such a silent place. Even when I go in prayer, I just sit there. Because part of me don't really know what to say. Part of me just don't even feel like talking. So I kind of just sit there. I listen to worship music and let it play. And, because some of the words of a song can actually be saying exactly how I feel. But I can't, at that time, like I don't have the strength to say it. Although I'm thinking it, and he knows what I'm thinking. Although I'm thinking like, Lord, I love you. Lord, I worship you. Lord, I adore you. But it's like I sit there, because at that time I don't have the strength to say those exact words to him. Although I feel it, although I think it, although I want to say it. And that comes And me just sitting there in silence is because, like I was just saying to a friend of mine, I'm like, I think I'm in a place where I know that my next is coming. I'm just afraid of what that next is. I know he has a next for me. I know that there is a next for me. I'm just afraid of what the next is. And the part of me that is afraid of what the next is because it's like, okay, what if the next is something that I don't feel I'm ready for? Or what if the next is something that I don't want to do? Or I don't want to go? And it's like, I'm kind of nervous as to what that next is going to be. So in turn, when I go and pray, I'm just kind of like, Lord, I know you're good. Lord, I love you. Lord, I appreciate you. And it's kind of like, I'm quiet to hear, but at the same time, I know I'm not really ready to hear because I'm not sure what it's going to be. So if I'm already knowing that there is a next, then what's left for me to do is just prepare for it. Just prepare for it. And then the thinking side of me goes to, well, how do I prepare for the next when I don't know what the next is? How do I prepare for what is coming if I don't know what is actually coming? And not all the time he's going to show you exactly what it is. He will give you, bits and pieces or something, because like I said, he gave me a vision of something. He showed me myself, and that's been about 4 or 5 years ago now. And part of me feel like that is like right around the corner for me, but I don't feel like I'm ready for it. So I know exactly what to do to prepare for what he showed me, but and I guess that might be the part of me that is just, nervous and afraid, which is, in prayer is where I get my strength, and prayer is where he wipes away those fears. So I'm really answering my own questions to myself. I'm really telling myself, and I know what I need to do. But I'm just, I'm just talking. Because like I said, I don't know if any of you, are experiencing this or have experienced this or, however, but I think part of my silence and the part of me that, is in this place is also feelings and emotions. And I know that, emotions change. They're up and down, they're up and down, they're up and down, which is why it's not good to do things off of emotion or react off of emotion, because they're fickle, they change. So learning how to push past emotion and feelings and the what ifs and the how and the whys, learning how to push past all of that, for me, is easier said than done, but at the same time, it can be done. It's a choice. You have to choose. Every day, you wake up with choices. Choices. Choose to serve him. Choose to do what he tell you to do. Choose to be a light. You can choose to try and resemble him as much as you can, whether you're going to your job, whether you're going to school, whether you're going wherever you're going, choosing to look more like him and be more like, that's a choice. That's a choice. That's a choice. I think I was thinking it might have been yesterday. I was like, ooh, I was a mess in college. Like, I was like, Lord. But I don't even think I could go back and be that person if I tried, because that was just too much. That was just too much. And I've really come too far. I've become so much better that it wouldn't even feel right to even try and be that girl. And I'm thankful for that. That the Holy Ghost convicts me when yeah. I read this. There is so much treasure hidden, but meant to be found in the pages of his word. The key to staying in love with God is you must never stop seeking and searching for him. There is so much treasure hidden. So there is so much treasure hidden in this word, hidden in his word, but it's meant to be found. So you can only find it if you go looking for it. And when you look for it, that's the key to staying in love with him, because you're searching and you're seeking him, because he's found in these pages. The treasure is him in these pages. He's found in these pages. And if you look for the treasure, if you seek, it tells you, you will find. If you knock, it'll be open. If you ask, he's going to give it to you. So, seeking and searching is a choice that we need to choose every day. I will seek, I will search, I will chase until I find you. Until I find you, so you may be seeking peace one day. Search, seek, chase till you find that peace. You may need joy that day. Search, seek, chase till you find it. Till you find it. Till he shows you where it is. So, because the truth of the matter is, when you seek and search and go towards him, when you draw nigh, he's drawing to you. And it may seem so far away, but the closer you move, the closer he moves. The closer you move, the closer he moves. So it's really not that far, because he meets you. He meets you every time. So, guys, I was just really talking. Really just, thinking, and I'm on this journey of falling in love with him again. If I was ever in love. If I wasn't, then I'm on a journey to fall in love with him. With him, the essence of him, the person of him. I'm seeking to fall in love with the person of him. Not just to know what he has in store for me, not just to receive the blessings that he have, but I want to get in that place where I'm spending time, because I just want to spend time with my Father. I just want to spend time with my daddy. I'm chasing after that. I'm chasing, I'm searching, I'm in a place where I'm willing to do anything to fall in love with the essence of Him. So, guys, I challenge you guys, if you're not, or if you're already in love with Him, the key to staying in love, like I said, is to continue to seek and search. So continue to seek and search so you can stay in love with Him. Because there's something different about Him. Every time you seek, you're going to find something different. Because He's everything. He's everything and more. So, guys, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in for another episode of Makeup and Manna with me, Tisha Chandre. I'll see you guys next week on my channel. I appreciate you. Be blessed. I love you. Not like I'm not gonna try and reject the next or try and go back and forth. And it ain't necessarily because He could very well tell me something that I don't want to hear. He could tell me to go somewhere I don't want to go, or He could tell me to do something I want to do, and I don't want to. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think it's more so that I'm afraid of what the next is going to be, and I because I feel like the next is going to be an uncomfortable place for me, and I've already haven't felt like I've been stable in this whole season, and it's like I don't want to deal with uncomfortability because I already don't feel like I'm solid.
So if you're already uncomfortable now, what do you have to lose?
Like my stomach hurt right now. I'm talking to you about this because like it's just bringing up those type of feelings. Like I know I'm never gonna know how long a season lasts or how long a season is going. I need to put my phone on do not disturb too. But I never know how long a season or how long I'm gonna be in something. So it's just like I'm weary in this long, uncomfortable place. And well, I'm not gonna say this place is uncomfortable. It's just that I feel unstable in this spot. And it's like, I'm just ready for something to become stable and something to become solid. So it's like, I'm fearful, I'm kind of nervous about what's next, because what if it shakes me up even more and causes me to be even more unbalanced? And it's like, okay, can I handle any more unbalanced, whatever?
How does one learn to be balanced?
I think, going to the balancer for one, but at the same time, I think too, learning to be balanced, for me, is to stop trying to juggle everything and trying to balance everything, because that just may not be my job to try and make sure everything is balanced and make sure everything is whatever. So I might be taking on something that I'm not even, so I just don't. That's why I'm like, I'm just like I feel silent in the inside.